Conservatives have repeatedly criticized, though, the administration for blaming the attack at first on a YouTube video against Islam rather than on terrorism. The growing scandal surrounding Benghazi, the IRS, and the AP could spell another problem for the president. It could mean the end to what some have called a cozy relationship with the mainstream media. David Brody has that story now from Washington.
As the scandals pile up, the mainstream media is slowly turning on the Obama administration, whether it be the IRS targeting conservative groups.
You have to understand and hear how it sounds like the administration might be hiding something.
Or the Justice Department secretly seizing phone records of Associated Press reporters.
It's chilling. I guess they owe us an explanation.
Even his biggest supporters are heading for the door. This is MSNBC commentator Chris Matthews a year ago on President Obama.
Everything he's done is clean as a whistle. He's never not only broken any law, he's never done anything wrong. He's the perfect father, the perfect husband, the perfect American.
Fast forward to the present.
He doesn't want to know about them. He doesn't want to run the United States government. And that has been the problem. Why isn't he angry, really angry, about what happened with the IRS?
If you're the president, this is not a good sign. Now, the media is also coming around on what happened in Benghazi after the death of American ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens. Only CBS reporter Sharyl Attkisson pursued this from the beginning, long before her mainstream colleagues. She sat down exclusively with CBN News.
The media is not always consistent in the vigor that they use to pursue a given topic. And I do think the media did not use the opportunity in the weeks and months after Benghazi to be as persistent and as pointed as they should have, considering the importance of the issue, in my view.
Attkisson says she's definitely received pushback from the White House.
The White House called about an article I wrote a week or so ago. They personally pushed me back. You know, I'm used to that, so that's their job. Sometimes the harder they push, the more I believe maybe we're mining fertile area.
Attkisson has been applauded by conservative groups for her tenacious reporting. She says CBS executives supported her coverage despite having a tough time getting her Benghazi stories on television.
Every story that you present as a reporter has to be bought by a broadcast, meaning not purchased for money, but you have to get them interested in it. So maybe Evening News wants one story, Morning News wants a story. And there hasn't been an appetite for the stories I've offered on Benghazi.
The perfect storm of Benghazi, the IRS, and the AP phone log story leads to an even larger question.
You think there's a disappointment to a certain degree within liberal camps?
I think there's a huge disappointment.
Washington Post columnist Dana Milbank recently wrote that, quote, 100 days into his second term, Obama has already lost control of the agenda, if he ever had control in the first place. Milbank tells CBN News that Obama's lifeless, submissive attitude has hurt him.
It struck me that it was just very oddly passive for this president who had just won a second term to be sort of resigning himself to that and saying, I'll just see what they do up there. You know, there's only so much I can do. I'm going to wash my hands of the whole thing. It was odd for him not to be, I think, out there fighting more for his agenda.
Now it seems like the only fighting this president is doing is fighting off scandal after scandal. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
Yeah, one thing the president probably will not be doing in the next few days, Pat, is reaching for his golf clubs.
I wouldn't count on it. Maybe he'll reach for the basketball. He seems to enjoy playing some hoops with his buddies, so we'll see what it is. He needs the exercise. But it is, Lee, it's incredible. He says to these people, well, I learned about that on the news the way you did. Nonsense. He's got briefing from the highest intelligence agencies in our nation who are feeding him information 24/7. He should be on top of all these things. These are some pretty serious matters, and he's disengaged. I think that's his style. He just, frankly, he doesn't know what he's doing because he has no training in it. He's never run a corporation, never run an enterprise. He was a community organizer in Chicago before he was elected to public office. And he's never done these things, so he's uncomfortable. And he just sort of says, well, we'll just kind of let things work its way out. He thinks he's very eloquent. He says, quote, and he said this to people, I have a gift. Well, that gift is imploding, Lee.